So I know, you just bought a home and you thought you were done, but you're kinda not. Hi guys, Nicholas Montier here with Home with Nick, helping you buy, sell near or far, and giving you those real estate tips and tricks that we feel you so desperately need. And the truth is, yes, you just closed on your home, you're probably super excited, and you're probably hoping that it's over and done with. People have been bugging me and asking me for things for days, and I am so over it. Okay, so here's the deal. The truth is, you're done with the escrow part of now owning your home, but now you've become a homeowner, and being a homeowner has its perks, of course, but there's a couple of things that you still have to do and a couple of things you still have to pay. Number one, let's get into one of the biggest surprises, and I'm hoping you're watching this video early on so that you're not surprised by this, because your lender, your realtor, somebody should have told you about it, but sometimes they just don't. And that's your supplemental tax bill. Your supplemental tax bill is super important because it's a little surprise that's gonna come in the mail, probably in 2 installments, and freak you out because it could be a decent sized check that you have to pay back to your tax assessor. Now again, this is not like your normal taxes, and it's based off of the change in value between the prior assessed value of the home and the new market value in which you purchased the home at, and it's calculated based on the difference. It's also calculated based on the amount of time that you've actually been in the property per the fiscal year. So the fiscal year for property taxes is June 30th. So again, with that being said, if you bought your home, let's say in September, you'd be responsible for the property taxes for the supplemental tax bill from September forward until June 30th. And again, typically they're broken up into 2 installments. Depending on when you bought the property, you could be looking at maybe only 1 installment, just depends on the type of year. And also the value on how much that supplemental tax bill will be is the difference between that prior assessed value and that new market value. Now keep in mind, your lender may have you on impound accounts, which means they're actually collecting money per month out of your payment for your insurance and your taxes. Now, sometimes that impound account has enough money in it to cover supplemental taxes, sometimes it does not. So if you wanna be super clear on that, which I'm sure you do, contact your lender, go on their online portal if they have one, and just reach out and ask, hey, listen, is this bill going to be covered by this? If so, great. If not, you probably wanna prepare for it. Sometimes they can be hefty sums. At the end of the day, if you have questions around your supplemental tax bill and you got this piece of paper in the mail and you're freaking out like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Contact your local tax assessor. I know the ones locally here are super easy to get a hold of and super sweet. So not a fun thing that you have to deal with, but something that you have to address at the point in which it comes. And I hope, again, this video got to you before the surprise of it arriving in the mail. Now, flipping to a more positive side, we talked about supplemental taxes. Let's talk about a refund check from your escrow account. So a lot of you, if you're first-time home buyers, your lender is probably asking you to have an impound account or an escrow account. And again, that account is designed to collect money from your payment every single month so that they can pay for things like insurance, pay for things like taxes, and make sure that everybody's getting their share of the pie, which is your total mortgage payment, which is your PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, right? So again, this impound account is supposed to be beneficial to you and take care of these things for you. Sometimes they overestimate, and the benefit of that is that you're going to get a refund check for that escrow period. Now, usually escrow accounts are monitored once or twice a year, so if for whatever reason we feel that the escrow account is too much, then typically they will cut you a check, and that's a really nice surprise to get in the mail. So maybe if your escrow check is too much, you can pay your supplemental tax bill. I'm just saying. Now, the other side of that is the fact that your escrow account may actually be negative. I have had this happen to myself, actually, where there was a miscalculation because there was something not reported from the tax assessor. I ended up being short a little bit on my escrow account, which then made my monthly payments not enough to cover my taxes and insurance. So then I had to chip in an extra amount to my monthly payment, or I could give one lump sum to catch up that difference. You're gonna get some kind of notification, likely from your escrow account. Be prepared for it. It could come from your lender, your service provider, or whoever's carrying that escrow account paying those bills for you off of your monthly payment. It could be greater, could be short. Either way, you need to be aware of it. And if you ever have any questions around this, you can always go ahead and contact your lender. That's the best way to really handle the situation. Third thing, I get a question about this all the time, and I think this is where the realtor community does a really bad job, but is my realtor supposed to stay in contact with me? I don't know. Honestly, there was a study done by NAR a while back in 2017, and they had said that 87% of people would use their realtor again if they knew how to get in touch with them. So yes, your realtor might fall into that pie. They might be totally bad at staying in touch. Maybe they were a great realtor for the process, but they're terrible at staying in touch. The follow-up is just not there sometimes. So is your realtor supposed to stay in touch? I hope they do. And I'll tell you right now, if you need a handyman or electrician or plumber, down the line, instead of Angie's listing it or going on to different sites like Yelp and trying to find those resources, I think a realtor can make it a fantastic solution for you on all fronts, because usually your realtor, hopefully, is connected to your community, knows people locally, resources, helping maybe with property management here and there with different clients. If your realtor doesn't get in touch, maybe you get in touch with them. I really hope they stay in touch. I just can't tell you if they will. Statistics say super bad at follow-up. But I guess the question with realtors is do they have a job after you close escrow? And the truth is, they're supposed to be your companion. That's the truth. Their fiduciary duty is supposed to extend past the point of closing escrow, and hopefully they're providing consistent value in your life. Hopefully they're following up with you and making sure you're okay in your new home. Because I'm sure as a new homeowner, you're gonna have questions, you're not gonna know how to open certain things or do certain things, and you're gonna need help. And I hope that they are there as that resource for you. But again, no guarantee. Now, the last thing I think is super common, and maybe I don't need to say it, but I want to say it anyways, and that's what if something breaks in the house? So in another video, I had explained that you're supposed to have a home warranty when you buy a property. Now, you were probably trying to be competitive, and maybe it was multiple offers, so you thought, hey, I'm gonna kick out that home warranty and not use it. Remember that a home warranty is super great, covering the main systems in the home. So the electrical, plumbing, the roof, all the major systems. It's supposed to cover. Now, every home warranty policy is different, and I can't say that it covers all of those things unless you look at your own home warranty policy. But that's their intention, is to cover the major systems in the house, including your major appliances, dishwasher, fridge, all of those things. If something breaks, hopefully you have a resource like a home warranty to lean on, That would be my goal for you. And again, we're supposed to build that into the contract early on to help protect you. That's the goal. So when you do close and something does break, and you're a new homeowner, so stuff's gonna break. It's just gonna break. It is what it is. Deal with it. But the truth is, I want you to have something simple to lean on, which a home warranty makes great for. Home warranties work just like this. You subscribe to a home warranty, and then typically there's a service fee or service call fee for just that first appointment for a specific issue in the home. Typically ranges between $75 and $100, which usually is a lot less than fixing the actual issue at hand. And again, if they cannot fix something on your property, they are likely to replace it completely. Again, there's a lot of great benefits to home warranties. I know sometimes there's some weird people out there that try to say, oh, well, they say everything's pre-existing conditions. Not in my experience. I find them to be incredibly valuable and helpful. Only thing I just don't like is that $75 service fee. But again, they're there to help, and they usually take care of it, and it's been fantastic for me personally. So again, stuff breaks, call your home warranty. That's what you're supposed to do. So there's one last thing before I let you go, and I really think that this is something hopefully that you know is coming and is not a surprise. But when you buy a home, typically you're buying it from somebody who occupies that property. Now, for those of you buying a flipped home, there's nobody living in the property. It's all beautiful, ready to go, and it's clean and shiny, and nobody's lived there for a while. Fantastic. But some of us buy property from people who actually live in the property, which means somebody has to exit for you to enter. And that can create some issues sometimes. So part of your contracts always have a section for possession, as far as somebody who is going to, in the future, like yourself, occupy this home. Hopefully you've had a clear talk and understanding as to how possession is supposed to work for you. I know some areas have a customary, you close escrow today and you will occupy the property 3 or 4 days from now. Maybe in some areas it's 7 days, or sometimes there's even cases where you can move in early before the actual close of escrow. I highly don't recommend the last part of what I just said, but just so you know, it's available. It's out there. I just don't like it. So again, keeping it simple, typically you close one day and you can move into 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days afterward, all right? That's typically what we do, and we call that a seller in possession. So just remember that sometimes when you close escrow, if you've allowed that seller to stay in that property, you've now engaged into some effect a tenant-landlord relationship. Now again, I am not an attorney, but again, this is something that you do need to be aware of. Please research it, do your homework. If you're allowing that seller to stay in the property after you close escrow, there is some risk involved. It's not always so easy to get somebody out of a property after you've just spent a ton of money buying it, if now you have an official landlord-tenant relationship. So again, we have the contract in place. I don't want you to freak out, but I do want you to be aware of the different ramifications that happen during this time. So at least in the state of California, we have 2 rules. If you stay in a property 29 days or less, it's looked at like a vacation rental, and we have an entirely different set of tenancy laws and rules for that situation. If somebody stays in a property for 30 days or more, which I know is a long time and probably not going to affect you, but it's good for you to know, 30 days or more becomes a residential lease after sale agreement, which makes it an actual tenant-landlord relationship full on, which gives that tenant all the rights and responsibilities of a typical tenant-landlord relationship, or according to law. Not an attorney, not giving you legal advice, just letting you know that this is something that is out there for you to be aware of. So typically that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 day lease back, not such a big deal. I'm just telling you, don't go the full distance here, because it could cause you some issues as far as trying to evict or remove somebody from the property that you're so excited to occupy. Like, that's what you wanted to do. What would be my advice? My advice would be do a longer escrow. If somebody needs more time in a property, give them a longer escrow. Doesn't hurt to go 5, 10, 15 days longer instead of having to give them that tenancy rights that we all kind of try to avoid, especially if you're not used to being a landlord. Probably not something you want to jump into right when you're becoming a first-time home buyer, or even if this is your second home and you're not used to those parameters. This has been Nicholas Montier with At Home with Nick. Thank you so much for watching. We always are trying to help you buy, sell near or far. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share this with your friends and family. I really hope it's doing some good out there. Again, always would love the feedback from you in the comment section below. Always trying to work on new video and content for you guys out there. And again, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.